Yampah Mountain High School in Glenwood Springs is known for creating a personalized approach to help non-traditional students prepare for career or college. I love the school's slogan on its website, "Little School, Big Soul, Transforming Lives." It's kind of a great haiku, and from everything I've seen, it perfectly sums up exactly what they do. Please join me in a very warm welcome for Dr. Leigh McGown next to me, Yampah's principal, and Donna Holley at the far end, Yampah's post-high school success counselor, and 4 recent graduates from Yampah Mountain High School.
Thank you for having us here. I have 4 graduates from 2018. So first of all, they've just all earned their diplomas, which is great success to all of them. What I'm asking each of the students is to share with you a little bit of where they began, their story, and what the personalized journey they needed to find their success and soar to interests they wanted to discover. And I think they'll be sharing with you both some personal stories and some of the experiences they had that probably even touch base on some of the systems work we were talking about. Because for each of them, their unique experience also let them work with community and nonprofits in that way.
Hi guys. Oh, okay. So my name is Humberto. I went to Yampah Mountain High School. As you may know, it's an alternative public high school. We like to think outside the box a little more than not. And I wanted to talk to you guys about a group I was part of, which is called Padres y Jóvenes, and the name's in Spanish, but it really has to do with talking with our youth. And I remember we would go down to the middle school and we would just have high schoolers like us, and we'd go talk to the middle schoolers about, just have a conversation with them and tell them about some of the things that they could expect later on, down the road. What else? Oh yeah, I think that was really great because the way to change our schools is not so much to do, in my opinion, with policy and infrastructure like Michael was talking about. I think it has to do more with like culture and like a shift in culture and teaching the younger kids about, it's not so much to do with academics and how successful you will be like in life after high school. It has to do with what you learn. And at Yampah Mountain High School, I learned about how to be a leader and how to be respectful and compassionate and all these things that will take you further in life. And so, yeah. What else did I have to talk about? I forgot. I did not come prepared, so.
You mentioned compassion, and it made me think about some of the work you did, like at Pine Ridge. Yeah. And so maybe talk about how your story of why you did that and what you got out of that and where that's going to help you go.
Okay. So yeah, at the end of every trimester, because we have 3 trimesters, we take a trip, and I got to be a part of a group of kids that went down to South Dakota, and we went to the Indian reservation there, and it's one of the poorest counties in all of the United States. And it was really humbling. I got to do volunteer work there. I feel like we really made a difference. We would deliver piles of wood to people that needed it so they could heat their homes, and we built bunk beds, and yeah, we did a lot of great stuff over there. And we got to talk to a lot of the elders there, and they just had a lot of words of wisdom for us. So I think that's one of the best experiences I've had, Pine Ridge, because you just get a different perspective when you travel and you get to meet, different people and their culture, and you can take some of that back with you and have it for the rest of your life.
And then maybe just a little bit on your story. What were some of the needs of where you started that somebody needed to hear for you to be successful and end up getting your diploma?
Yeah. Okay. So I really feel fortunate enough to been able to attend Yampah Mountain High School. I moved there my freshman year because I wasn't doing so well at the traditional high school in Glenwood, and I was at a bad place in my, time or life, and Leigh really believed in me. I met her through a little league because I played baseball, and she met me there, and she saw that I wasn't going to school, so she gave me an opportunity to go and finish my high school over there at Yampah, and I just really felt like they believed in me. All the teachers, Leigh and all my other teachers, they got me through it. They pushed me to the end, and it was really great. I think that's really powerful when someone believes in you. Even when you don't believe in yourself, because I was really hard-headed just a couple years ago. And yeah, I got to learn more about myself, and I kind of took a step back, focused on school. They teach you, like all the basics, academics and algebra and all that. But what most schools don't teach you is what I experienced at Yampah was, like love, and I really felt like I belonged there. So.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jordan, and I started attending Yampah my sophomore year of high school. I had attended a traditional high school previously, and I just thought the approach that they went with wouldn't suit my needs. I had met with a counselor one time the whole year because I wanted a schedule change, and that change didn't even happen. So I was sick and tired of just being mulled over as one of the masses, so I started to attend Yampah, where they have a more one-on-one approach, where they could see where I was very determined to accomplish my goals, and they were here to be a guiding hand through it with me. And they taught me unimaginable things. I was trained in restorative justice, and I was taught how we enact this restorative justice at our school, and I was taught that not only was this a form of what is it called? That was the word. Oh. Yeah, it's not only is it a form of criminal justice, but it's also a form of healing, and it teaches us that not only are these offenders they're people too, and we should treat them as people. Yeah, okay. And through Yampah, I was open to do what I wanted. I got done with my academics really quickly so I could go abroad for a year. So I went abroad to Japan through Rotary, and I don't think this would have been possible without any other traditional high school, because I didn't have to worry about the credits that I missed while I was abroad, because I had already been able to finish them because of Yampah's open schedule that I was allowed to design for myself. So I was always really thankful for Yampah for allowing me to do this amazing thing that I accomplished. And it's just the community at Yampah is so different from any other high school. It's because not only are my teachers, but they're also my friends, and but it's still a respectful thing. We still respect our teachers because they're our mentors, and it's respectful. And so they teach us these great things, and they also are always one-on-one with us and help us guide us through what we want to do. So yeah, that's it.
I just wonder if, I'm thinking, Jordan, a question almost that I want to hear, because I think when you started sophomore year, probably living a year in Japan was not really something you thought you would do, or maybe could even be able to make happen. So how did you get there? That's Jordan just got back from a year living in Japan and now speaks Japanese.
When I first got to Yampah, I was just kind of going to high school because I had to go to high school, because that's what we're supposed to do when we're 15. We have to go to high school. And so I had met another student who had gone abroad. He went to India, and I'd always told him that I wanted, we'd have our self-study periods, and he was working on his Rotary paperwork, and I was working on learning Japanese just because I wanted to be bilingual. And he told me that he was going abroad, and I was really curious on how to do that. And so he taught me how to go abroad. And so, yeah, through another peer who went abroad. Yeah, is that it?
Hi, my name is Angelina. I guess how I started out learning and going to Yampah was actually through a school that I went to before Yampah. I started Yampah my sophomore year, and I had gone to Coleridge, which was a traditional school, for 2 years. And again, I didn't really learn or care to learn anything. The teachers didn't really care at all about you unless you were in academics or you just were excelling in something. And at Yampah, they care about you no matter what. You can come from anywhere and they'll care about you. They'll teach you exactly what you want to know, exactly what you need to know. And when I even heard about Yampah, I thought it was like a crazy school because they went from the William Glasser theory, which was 5 things that we needed, and it was fun, power, love and belonging, freedom, and survival. I thought that was crazy just because I had never gone to a school that went from those 5 things that every person needs. I just went to a school that you were taught and, regular school, you were just taught. And at Yampah, I really learned more about myself, more about exactly what I'm passionate about. I learned so much about every single person, every single teacher that worked there. It's like a family, and you can't get that at traditional school. You just get, hi, I'm Miss, and that's your teacher. You don't learn everything about them. You don't learn that they make mistakes too, that they're not just your teacher, that they're a person and they care about you so much. And as a student, that's exactly what you want to hear, to be able to respect and learn from a teacher. And from my personal experience, I was in the Sources of Strength program, and that helps kids learn more about themselves, learn that being sad and just not being healthy with yourself isn't the way to go, and you learn exactly how to love yourself, how to love each and every person. You learn that people are people. Even if you don't like a person, you will still completely think that they're beautiful. You can think that even if you don't like a person, if you don't like what they say, they are beautiful. They deserve everything that life has to offer. And at Yampah, this school, they accept kids that don't fit in, kids that aren't doing good with life, I guess you can say, kids that aren't accepted as teenagers, as going through so much emotions. And that's just everything that a school should be.
I'm wondering, Angelina, if you don't mind saying, she said I was part of the Sources of Strength program, but she was really led it. It's a youth voice, peer mentoring piece. So it wasn't that she joined it in something, it was that she was creating something. And so maybe you could just say what you were trying to do peer-wise and what that term Sources of Strength meant, like how broad that is, since people don't know about it.
Okay, so Sources of Strength is, I think, 55 states, or 55 schools out of all the states have it, and which I think is crazy because you should be able to learn about, I guess, the wheel of life, which Sources of Strength goes off of. It's mental health, family support, positive friends, mentors, healthy activities, generosity, spirituality, and medical access. At the beginning of the program, you either get accepted or recruited or, just whatever you want to do that class. If you are missing a part of that wheel, they help you learn more about that part, exactly what you need to get that full part, exactly where you need to go, why you need that in your life. If they teach you, if you see a person that's down, they teach you exactly how or the skills that you need to make that person feel accepted. They teach you how to, if a person is, I guess, like down, not having a good day, if they just really feel like they don't need life anymore, they teach you exactly what you need to, I guess, like approach that person. And around the school and the community, what we did is we also, well, most of the people in the Sources of Strength program, we did the school walkout. That's, as a program, we hosted that for our school. We tried to make the school more positive than it already was, which is crazy. But we would do candygrams, and we would write a special note to every person saying a positive thing to them, every teacher. We would go around the school, like writing just positive notes, trying to make somebody's day better.
I want to share one amazing thing they did. They made this wheel on the wall of all those sources of strength, and they got staff and students. So if somebody got their health insurance, they would go put a marker up in the healthcare as a source of strength. Or if somebody helped, got to go to a college class or something. So they started helping each other see there's all these places that you can find sources of strength from. So that was a really neat display they did. Thank you, Angelina.
Okay, my name's Casey. I started Yampah my senior year. I did all of the traditional schools in Grand Junction, the one in Parachute, and the alternative school in Parachute. And then I moved to Rifle and met a family, and they're like, hey, you're a mom, you might as well go and check out Yampah. Well, I was being stubborn, and I didn't want to finish high school. I was more focused on just being there, raising my kid, and going through life. Without Yampah's support and their daycare they have, I wouldn't be where I am career-wise today. I'm QMAP'd. I work with the disabled people for Mountain Valley. I went from being a waitress and a hotel manager to greater things, and it's because of Yampah's support.
Casey's like, don't ask me more. But Casey, do you mind sharing? Because you also did a lot of giving back. I mean, like this summer you were there helping Sally with the summer, in some of the summer programming. And so it's like a full circle. So I just think if you could just share a little bit about that, how you've used the summer program both to help your own career, but to help as well.
Okay, so the Yampah Daycare did a summer program for the graduates that are working and needed to get things done. So their kids would go to the daycare, and I had a bunch of work training tests and stuff I needed to do from 9 to 4. And so one of the daycare teachers would come pick up my child and take her to the school, and then would drop her off if I'm not home, because my hours ran 9 to 9 during the summer. And eventually I ended up being the only person who needed the summer program childcare. And Sally, she's the head person of the teen parent programs. She messaged me and she was like, can you come and help us move the furniture out of the daycare room so we could clean the carpets or whatever they were doing? And my schedule was busy, but I made time to go in and help her.
And brought her husband and truck and everything.
Hi, I'm Donna Holley, and I am the post-secondary person here at Yampah. I also work with Michael Lowe, who helps with the Havoc program. If anybody of you have heard of our skateboarding program that runs at Yampah, that is a great example of how kids are really learning at Yampah with something they're interested in. They're creating skateboards. They're creating a business at Yampah. Some of the things I think that have made a difference at Yampah is the interim trips. We do take the kids not only to college campuses, to Mesa, to Spring Valley and all those places, but to WCCC, where we take them to see a welding program, see automotive, massage therapy school, a beauty academy. We're just trying to show them different pathways. I really believe that, foot on the ground, if you want to call it that, on a college campus really makes a difference to these kids. I've talked to lots of freshmen that have just never visited a college campus or any kind of post-secondary school. So taking them there, I think, has really made a huge difference. I also know we've placed a lot of kids in internships, in apprenticeships, and in college classes, really seeing that success in high school. Like Casey said, she's now a QMAP, she's a CNA. We have kids that have done lots of different college programs, lots of different college classes in high school, and really determine whether that's something that they want to do later on. Supporting them in that. And then I'm also working with the Aspen Community Foundation with the Summer Melt program, really following through with students that have gotten scholarships so that they do register for classes. Sometimes it is an obstacle such as financial aid, something else that really gets in the way of them registering. So I think all of those pieces have really helped with students kind of finding their passions, finding their voice. So these guys, we are so proud of these guys. They are really the example of students that really do want to be successful in life and reached for that piece of how do I find that pathway, and really found their own pathway. So I really did want to say that these guys are real success stories, so I appreciate it.
I don't know. Thank you again for having us. Our students were going to be here for the duration, so please come chat with them and talk to them because they like to tell you all about more of their stories than we have time for here. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you.